Hello, 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 and welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Lavella, and we are continuing our adventure in our forever world with spring winds. And so my dongle quit. For those of you who don't know what a dongle is, it's a little wire, it's a little USB flash drive looking thing that you plug in that works as a wireless antenna for your wireless headset. Anyway, it quit, and I unplugged it and plugged it back in, and you saw at the very end, I kept opening a chest because I was trying to see if I had any sound. Well, apparently it turned off my headset, so I turned my headset back on, and I finally decided I was taking too long to try to get it worked out because I thought, well, if I can fix it real quick, then I can keep going with my episode because I still had like 10 minutes at least. And I finally was like, it's taking me too long to figure this out, so we're just going to call it. So anyway, uh, oh, so let me do my outro. For those of you who watched the last episode, I want to say thank you for your time. And I'm not doing this just because it didn't get done last time, kinda. But I say it all the time because I mean it every time. And I want people to understand that I value your time. So if you are not enjoying this series and don't feel obligated to be here. I want you to spend your time where and how you want. So, if I'm not doing it for you, you need to find somebody who is and spend your time there. You are not going to hurt my feelings. Uh, Time is valuable and it's precious, and you cannot get it back. There's no redo, rewind, or do overs. So, whatever time you spend with me, I honestly, sincerely appreciate it, and I consider it as a personal gift. So, that being said, let's go ahead and do our thing. Oh, wait, let's do this first. Uh, I'm going to do this kind of quick because I don't think I've done anything since we looked at this in the last episode other than walk around and talk about stuff. So, I'm going to kind of scroll through this kind of quick. And if you're one of those people who are actually checking the statistics, I'm sorry, you're going to have to do a lot of pausing, um, because I don't think I dug up anything or picked up anything or kill. I know I didn't kill anything. I'm pretty sure because I just looked at the last episode to see where the sound gave out, and then I just started recording again. I'm still standing in the same spot. I haven't moved or done anything. So, for those of you who are checking, uh, I'm sorry if I'm going through this too fast, but I honestly don't think I don't think I did anything that would change. Oh well, chests opened. That might change because we have been opening. I did open a couple of chests, but other than that, I know the mobs absolutely have not changed. Okay, so what I was saying. Basically, if we do that goal, which I would like to do at some point eventually, and it might be one of those things where we spend a day making all the acacia stuff, right? And then we go to do something else. And then we come back in another day, we do all the jungle stuff, or we do all the cobble stuff, or whatever. Um, but anyway, my point is, uh, amethyst, I could see me filling this up eventually because I love amethyst. This would be easy to fill up all these double chests with andesite. But one double chest of ancient debris, that's plenty of room. So, there's that. Okay, but anyway, so this is the rock level. Blackstone, cobble, deep slate. And see, like things like this. Cobblestone, look, these are already full. I'm working on this one. I made lots of room for cobbled deep slate. And if we need more room, this is the crafted stuff. If we need more room, we can find it. I probably shouldn't have left as much room for deep slate because I don't typically like deep slate. I like cobbled deep slate. But regular deep slate, you can't craft with it. Now, I do like it for building blocks. So we are going to collect some of it at some point once we have silk touch. I probably should have left more room for the cobbled deep slate because I really like that. But if we get to the point that we're running out of room for stuff, once you see how much space there's, then it's definitely time to go to the end and get shulker boxes. And my tongue gets twisted every time I try to say shulker, shulker. Okay, so anyway, this is the rock floor. Then we have, this is dirt. Dirt, moss, mud, packed mud, sand, and then we have the colored stuff. So this is glass, and then we have wool. Oh no, no, no! I found it in the hole. We have wool. Then we have what's over here? More wool. More wool. Oh, terracottas. And I didn't do a separate chest for glazed because I really don't think we're going to have that much. Now, again, if we end up doing the goal where we have a double chest of everything, then I may have to do some shifting. But or make a section just for the glazed. But anyway, so there's terracotta, there's is that it? Yes, because we're back to dirt. Okay. And I don't have any slabs to mark this because I can't figure out what to do. The only thing I can think of doing is this has wool on this floor, so maybe carpet. Maybe I'll put some carpets around here. I really wanted something I could make slabs out of, but there's nothing here that I can make slabs out of. It's glass and concrete, or not concrete, it's glass and terracotta and dirt. None of that has slabs. Only thing is, when we start making packed mud, doing bricks, I'm pretty sure we could get slabs out of that. So that may be something we do later. Then this floor, this is weird stuff. It's ice, it's coral, it's concrete powder, concrete powder, concrete powder, all the colors. And then we have all these empty chests. So, like I said, if we run out of room, which the only floor that I really see that as a possibility is the rock floor, we can always do some shifting and make space. So, then instead of doing more chests and more chests, I just started, look. The good news is we're in a slime chunk. The bad news is we're in a slime chunk. I'm not a redstoner. I don't see myself needing this much slime. And I like to be able to go AFK in my storage rooms. Well, I can't do that with little green bouncy things running around trying to kill me. So, not a fan. Not a fan. As a matter of fact, it gives me bad memories from when I was playing on a Bedrock server with some very good friends, and my base was a slime chunk, and oh my gosh, it frustrated me to no end. To no end. Because no matter what I did, I had crops, and they just bounced all over my crops and trampled my crops. And I did the lighting, I did everything I could think of to stop the spawn, and it didn't matter. Of course, it's been a few years. Things have changed. There's been updates, and I haven't really played Bedrock in a very long time. Well, I did play a little bit with my great nephew. He and I did a realm server with him. He's now 10 years old, and his parents don't allow him to be on public servers, which is a good thing. I don't think children should be on public servers, at least not without their parents at all times. And not because I'm worried about how the children will act, but because I don't think it's safe for young children to be on public servers without adult supervision. Anyway, so he's not allowed to play on those, and uh, so I got a bed because he can only play Bedrock. He doesn't have a PC. So I got a Realm server, and he and I played together for a while. But I don't have the patience, and he didn't have the patience, and we just we just didn't mesh. I mean, I love him. I love that child so much. I love him so much. It's not it. But he doesn't have the attention span uh to do much of what I want to do. And I don't have the focus that he has. And so we were just like oil and water. And I know he loves me and I love him, and we really enjoyed the time we had together. But he was always wanting to do stuff in creative, and he was always wanting to do PvP, and that's exactly the opposite of how I like to play. And I would try to do those things with him, and but he was all, but at the time he was 9 years old. He's a kid, and kids don't have long attention spans. It's just the way kids are made. Their brains are still growing and developing, and there's a lot of adults that don't have a very long attention span either. But anyway, he would get bored real quick, and me, I like to play it long and slow. I'm in this for the long haul, and if I need to harvest mangrove trees, that's fine. Well, he'd rather go into creative and be done with it and just build random things. And it was just he wasn't having fun with me because I didn't like to do the things he wanted to do, and I wasn't having fun with him because he didn't like to do the things I like to do, and um, he was afraid to say anything because he didn't want to hurt my feelings, and I didn't want to give up because I really love him and enjoy spending time with him, but it just got to the point to where it was going to end up somebody was going to get their feelings hurt. And so we called it. Well, actually my sister called it. It's she's his grandmother, and um she basically told me that he wasn't enjoying himself the way he should, but he didn't want to say anything to me because he didn't want to hurt my feelings. And that was all I needed to hear. And he did not hurt my feelings. Um, I was struggling too, and I would talk to her about it, and I would say, I feel like I'm a terrible person because, this is how I'm getting frustrated, and I'm trying very hard not to show that frustration, but I'm getting frustrated. And she was like, "Well, you know what? You're not alone. He's getting frustrated with you too. Maybe y'all should call it." So we did, and we're still good. We're still good. He's still amazing. He just had his 10th birthday about a month ago, and he's an amazing kid, and I love him to death. But we just don't like to play Minecraft the same way, and not even close to the same way, you know. So that's the way that went. Let's see. Now, if my dongle decides to disconnect again, which I don't know if I mentioned that before, but um, I thought I had the problem solved by plugging in so that my headset would always have juice, and that didn't work. I had the same problem happen, and so I did some more Googling, and come to find out, every so often, the dongle just decides, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore, and it just quits. And you have to take it out and reconnect it, and sometimes you have to reboot your system and all that kind of stuff. So uh, if it happens again, then I will try. Uh, if you see me just standing around and opening chests repeatedly, that's me trying to see if it worked. And if I can't get it to work within a reasonable amount of time, then I'll just go ahead and end the episode. But if I can get it to work, then I'll come back and we'll continue on. Another thing I've been really wanting to do is stream. And I don't know why I keep procrastinating because it's something I have always wanted to do. I've talked about it for years, literally for years. And I don't know if I've mentioned that in the series, but uh, my son took me in during COVID, towards the end of COVID. And so I moved in with him and his roommate. Uh, Cole had the house first. It's a duplex. And he and his girlfriend had broken up. And then my son moved in, and they were best friends from high school. So anyway, my son had moved in and had lived here for years. And then COVID came along, and things went bad for me. And not because of the pandemic, it just happened to happen during the pandemic. But anyway, so they took me in, and the original plan was I was only supposed to be here for a couple of weeks, and it's been years now. But we kind of have a routine, and at some point, when I get my health situated to the point that I can be independent, then I intend to get a job and go back to living in my own place. But right now, I have several health issues that are being managed and have improved, and progress is being made. But there are still some things that need to be addressed. I just had a doctor's appointment yesterday. At the time this is being recorded, today is Saturday. Okay, so it was Thursday, so a couple days ago. Anyway, I just had a doctor's appointment, and we did basically a follow up on all the stuff that we've been working on. And when I first went to the doctor, I told her, I said, listen, I haven't had insurance. So I literally, when I saw her, I literally had not been to a doctor in years, like actual years. I'm not just saying that as an exaggeration. It had literally been years. And my list of health issues was was quite extensive. And so I went over the list with her, and I said, these are all the things I need to have addressed. And she went through it, and she was like, okay, we're going to work on this, because these are more of a priority and pose more of a threat. And then once we get all of this, to a certain level, then we'll come back and we'll worry about that. So that's what we did the other day. And so I'm pretty pleased with it. It's a slow process. Not a fan of going to the doctor, not a fan of taking medicine, but I love being here because I love my son and I love his roommate as if he was, he's like an extra kid. Um, but I need my own space, and they don't need me here. They are capable of cleaning their own house and buying their own groceries and running their own errands. They are grown men and they are capable of doing that themselves. They did it just fine before I came along. So it's not that they can't do that. Uh, it's nice for them because they don't have to right now because I take care of that. I don't always do a great job. Uh, I'm real bad at procrastinating, and between that and my health, there are days when I'm like, I really need to do this, and I just can't make myself do it. Either I don't feel good, or my brain is just like, yeah, we're not doing that today. That's just really not on the want to do list. So stuff doesn't always get done when it needs to, but I do try to make an effort. Or I don't try to make an effort. I do make an effort. This is like this because I chopped out the ladder system we had going down. Uh, the plan for this is I want to have this go all the way down there. You can see the bottom. I don't want to go down there because it takes too long to get back up. But you can see the bottom down there. I want this taken all the way down to there. And then, of course, the walls, I want them all lined, and I want the post with the ladders. And but I want to take this down to the tunnel level. And if we need to put another floor in and extend our storage, we can. If we want to just stand right here and wait for the slimes to jump over the trap doors and fall to their deaths, we can, because they've done that a couple of times. But I want to do this, and basically, I've been watching a lot. I've been watching Netflix. I've been watching YouTube. I've I've just I've been watching DVDs, and yes, people, some of us still own actual hard copies of movies and series. And then some of them I borrowed from my dad because he has quite an extensive library. Anyway, so I just sit here and I just dig. And, there's some people that, for some reason, for Minecraft, they really enjoy digging out chunks. And it's kind of a rite of passage thing for a lot of people. They're like, not that they judge anybody else, but for them, they feel like that's just part of Minecraft, digging out a chunk. And I get that. And I have always wanted to do that, and I have done that um, on a server before. But my thing is tunnels. I don't know why. I don't know why, but I like digging tunnels. The first multiplayer server that I was ever on, uh, there I was made a mod. I think I've mentioned this before. I'd only been on the server for 2 weeks, and it was the first time I'd ever been on a server. I mean, I'd played Minecraft for years, but it was the first time I'd ever been on a server. And I just logged on one day, and they said, "Oh, by the way, congratulations, you're staff." And I was like, "No, I'm not." And they were like, "Yeah, we you've been promoted." And I was like, I don't know why I was promoted. I didn't ask to be staff. Nobody talked to me about it. They just did it. They just Some of the staff that I had become friends with had seen how I behaved with other people and decided that I would be good at it, and they went to the owner and said, "Hey, we need to make Lavella staff," and he said, "Okay." So anyway, that's how that happened. But so anyway, all the staff, um, of course, we had our own area, and we kind of had a common area where some of the mods, like where we shared a storage room and we shared, living areas or whatever. But then there were a couple of mods, or there was one in particular, and his base was like 3,000 blocks away or something, or maybe it was 1,000. Let's say 1,000, because 3,000 seems like a lot. But whatever it was quite a ways away. And uh, I said, "Well, I'll just do a tunnel." And everybody was making fun of me. They were like, "No, you're not." And I was like, "Sure, why wouldn't I?" And they're like, "There's no way you're going to do a tunnel that far." And I was like, "Why not?" They're like, "It's too far. Why would you do a tunnel?" I said, "Because I want to. I want to connect the bases." And they were like, "Yeah, okay, whatever." But we got it done. I started doing it, and when they realized I was serious, the guy that we were trying to connect to, he started from his side, and I started from our side, and we met in the middle. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. But for some reason, I love doing tunnels. I don't know why. Hang on a second, I gotta get a drink. Oh, it's so good. Ice cold Pepsi for the win. So good, so good. But anyway, we're not going to do this on every episode till it's done. I'm going to go back to watching videos and digging from time to time. Like last night, I had a hard time sleeping. And so I was like, okay, you know what? Mining always relaxes me. So I got up and I did a few levels. And then I went back to bed. And I was good. So I'm not trying to do all this within the next 2 days. But I do want it done. Nope. This is all andesite. But I do want to get it done within a reasonable amount of time because I would like to move on. We still haven't gone caving. Still have not gone caving. And that is something I want to do um, soon. Because the thing is, I am enjoying the copper. But I'm ready for diamond tools. I'm ready to have enchanted diamond tools. I'm ready for enchanted diamond armor. And we're not going to get any of that unless I either set up a villager trading hall or we go caving. And caving's easier and less boring. And at some point, I will have a villager trading hall. But for now, I think I would like to do the caving. And like I said, I can dig this out while I'm watching TV. I'm not gonna have 45 episodes of me digging one layer per episode. It's not gonna happen. So, and at some point, I would like to do a tunnel, and it's gonna go about 2,000 blocks away, between 1 and 2,000 blocks away. There's a place where I went to get the sand. Let me see. I'll show you something real quick. Uh, Sandstone. Okay. I had a boat with a chest. I don't normally do that because when I'm traveling long distances, you put stuff in the chest. Well, if you have to pick the boat up, then you'd lose all your stuff. It all pops out. So to me, I don't really see the point. But I had so much sandstone from the area that I was at that I had to use a chest boat, and fill up my inventory. And I had a double chest of sandstone. Well, look at me now. It's not full. Not full. And that's the crafted stuff. So, I don't even have a double chest anymore. I've used all that sandstone lining the walls. So, the place I went to, um, there's like, you know how when you're in an ocean and you're going for a long distance or whatever, and you come across, I don't know if you call them a sandbar or not, but it's like an island, but it's just a big old pile of sand out in the middle of nowhere. Well, there's a couple of those there. And so anyway, I like to make tunnels anyway, and it's just an excuse. And I went there just to get the sand so I can make sandstone. Well, the terrain was wacky do, you know how you have dirt blocks floating and stuff. Well, instead of just getting the sand and making the sandstone and coming back, I was like, well, I'm going to level this and I'm going to replace all this with grass and I'm going to do this. And I spent quite a long time out there. But we're going to have to go back. So it's a good excuse to make a tunnel because trying to come through the ocean and stay in the water with a chest boat where you have to be in the water and going back a certain direction to get to a certain coordinates is a royal pain in the butt because you're like, Oh, let's go this way. Oh, nope, there's no water there. We got to backtrack. Okay, we're going to go around that mountain. Then we're going to go around that mountain. Okay, well, now we're back on track. Oh, nope, we got to turn around again. Oh, nope, there's water. Okay, we're going to stay on the water. Nope, got to turn. Yeah, I was getting really frustrated. I was like, okay, this is making me mad. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna keep inventory on, and I'm just gonna die, and then I'm just gonna that way I'll respawn back at the base, and I'll just tell everybody in the next episode. But I was like halfway, and I was like, no, I'm doing this the right way. This is the whole point of playing survival. I'm not taking a shortcut. So I did die while I was out there, but it was if you hit escape and you get this menu and you're in single player, your game is paused. Well, I've been playing on servers like the Skyblock server, and then before that I was playing on a different server. But I played on servers so much that this doesn't do any good because it's multiplayer. It's not going to pause anything. So what I usually do or did I would open my inventory so that I was AFK and but I was always in a safe place. Well, apparently when I was out there at the sand place, I opened my inventory and I thought I had paused my game, and I came back from washing dishes and I had a respawn screen because apparently a drown killed me. I think it was a drown. Anyway, a drown or a zombie, somebody, killed me while I was AFK. Luckily, Mojang has changed it because back in the old days, it didn't stop the timer. Back in the old days, I would have come back and all my stuff would have been gone. And I would have been a little annoyed because I had quite a bit of sandstone on me at the time. And I had a lot of dirt on me at the time because I was filling in water holes. Anyway, but because of the change, and I don't remember when they implemented it, but now, if you're in a single-player world and you die, if that screen is, I'm using my hands because, I'm gesturing with my hands because, you can see it. Here, let me do it this way. So, here, I could gesture with my hands this way. So, now, if the respawn screen comes up saying you're dead, it stops the decay timer. So it doesn't start until you click to respawn. When you click off that screen, that's when you start your 5 minutes. So luckily, my bed was close by and I was able to get all my stuff back. But yeah, I was quite annoyed and I was really confused because I really thought I had paused the game. And then after I got back to playing and got to doing my stuff, I noticed I kept opening my inventory instead of hitting escape. And I was like, that's the reason. That's what I did. So anyway, enough of the rambling. I've gone way over to make up for the short episode, I guess. Not really. I was just running my mouth. But anyway, I do want to say thank you. Again, I know I said it at the beginning, but we actually have the outro. My dongle is working. And so I do want to thank you because I don't know if it's because I'm an old woman or what, but I truly understand how precious time is. So you're here. You've shared it with me, whether it was for 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever. It's a gift, and I am grateful. So thank you very much, and we will see you later.